Semifinal number 2. We are in the third qualifier for the Murky Cup, ladies and gentlemen. Infernal Shrine is our first map, and we got the Krankle crew with their NA imports going up against the dudes right now in a best of 3 series. So again, if you're unfamiliar with the Murky Cup, quick reminder, we have $2,000 of prize money on the line here. This entire tournament is sponsored by I Can't Wait, Heroes of the Storm fan, and obviously also an esports fan. And big shout out. Without people like him and Kevin to step up and help out with these tournaments, honestly, it wouldn't be possible to run just tournament after tournament. So again, big thumbs up and a big thank you to I Can't Wait. The man's a Murky fan, hence the name of the tournament, and also the little twist that we have with the bounties. Now, if you're not quite familiar with the concept here, we have $2,000 in prize money. 1,000 go to the normal prize pool that is then distributed between the top teams, and we have 1,000 in the bounty pool. The bounties are basically handicaps that you give yourself. You can see a list on screen right now where you have to win a game with Butcher, with Cho'Gall, whatever it is, and if you are able to pull that off, then you get a ticket for the bounty pool. The more tickets you get, the bigger your share is of that bounty pool. Each team can complete the bounties that you see here once. If you win a game with Murky, you get 3 tickets. And we had plenty of teams that already made those risk-reward calculations for themselves and was able to get a couple of tickets in and did quite well. Exodia Stack in particular is the team that was farming bounties over and over again. So as it stands right now, we're having teams trying that oftentimes coming in with game number 2, maybe game number 3. But with some teams like the Exodia Stack, they were really going hard, especially in qualifier number 1, where I believe they locked in 5 bounties for themselves already. So pretty impressive. Now, with game number 1, we have Infernal Shrines coming up. The whole tournament system, it's 6 qualifiers that we're running. The teams, they collect points as they're moving through round to round. The deeper in the tournament you go, the more points you get. Those points get accumulated. There's a leaderboard. And then at the end of all the qualifiers, the top 6 teams move on into the playoffs. So let's see how this is going to go for Krankle Crew and the dudes right now. Should be an interesting one, as both of them are aiming for the grand finals. But our first pick, at least in this one, is Blaze. Swamgrotta is currently subbing in on the red team side. And honestly, this already has me excited. If there is anybody who I would say he is gonna go for that Murky bounty immediately, it would be Swamgrotta. His Murky on a lot of maps was... I mean, again, he was notorious for his Murky play. He was feared. If he's really willing to play Murky in a qualifier game, I'm not sure. We'll see. But they go for Blaze first in game number 1 at least. And now over on the left side, we get Hanzo, we get Diablo. So Cure might play the front unless they're swapping heroes around a bit. Shout out again to Cure and Porky, the 2 NA imports on the side of Krankle Crew. Playing cross-server from North America on the European server here. We got Junkrat and we got Muradin. So that's actually a lot of CC. We got the poke from Junkrat from the outside. And you have Muradin, who can start things up with a good Stormbolt, followed up, of course, by then Blaze rocking a quick jet propulsion. So getting these CC trains going is something that both of the teams are going to try and do throughout the game. At least I would assume that there's a little bit that follows up on Diablo. Q can bounce people if he's the one playing the tank. I think they're switching over to Porky. Can just bounce them over into walls all day, every day on Infernal Shrines. He's a fantastic hero for the map. It would be kind of interesting to see Q and Diablo here. Q has actually played a lot of different roles when he subbed in for teams on European tournaments. But given the way that they usually drafted, Porky traditionally is the tank for them. So maybe they wanted to switch it up this time slightly, but there's still a chance that Diablo is just going to be given up here. So, Cho gets banned. No sneaky Cho'Gall Diablo combo. That would have been pretty cool though. I would have liked them to go for Cho'Gall here. Every time we get game number 1, I don't really expect to see a bounty, but it's always kind of nice when it happens. So now we got Leo and Rhaegar as the 2 picks here. Give me his lightning shield, lots of AoE also for Leo, and then over on the red team side, we now got the dudes with the final 2 picks for their team. Oh, bounty attempt, Asmodan! Alright, Asmodan in game number 1, and we get Anna. Yep, did not expect that. Okay, let's see if they're actually stacking Azmodan properly. This is a bit of a pet peeve of mine when teams don't know how to properly stack Azmodan. These guys definitely do know. The question is just, are they going to do it? And how much of a priority is it for them? At least early on, you should have somebody that helps Azmodan to stack. That makes it much easier for him to get to a point where he can stack his quest talents by himself and also eliminate minion waves. Porgy has the final choice, and we go for Illidan. So, with the hunt, there are now more opportunities for bounties. There is actually a chance we're going to get a bounty completed no matter what happens here, depending the choices, and I think this is actually what we're looking at. Infernal Shrines, ladies and gentlemen, game number 1. First game in the series between the Krankle crew and the dudes. On the left side, we have the blue team with Malkarks on Hanzo, Cure on Illidan, and that's what I want to see. Jordan on Leoric, and Porky, as expected, is the one playing Diablo for the blue team, as we have Deviant on Rhaegar. On the right side, the dudes. Now again, quick reminder, it's not really their team name. In the first qualifier, they called themselves Team to be Determined or something, or Name to be Determined. I called them the dudes then, because I felt it was fitting, and then in the second qualifier they named themselves Blue Team, and that would obviously be quite confusing, so I decided to just stick it out with the dudes. We have Gavlo on Muradin, Svampgarota on Blaze, Ixianana, Ultralis is playing Azmodan, and Bloodcool on Junkrat. Bloodcool is actually somebody that in the second qualifier in particular has performed, I mean honestly he did great. He had some games where it was just insane how the man played. I'm very curious what we're now getting from Ultralis. In this case, you can actually see that they're helping him to get those stacks together. So, once again, doesn't really matter what kind of level you're playing at. If you're playing on a higher level, Azmodan is not something that you see in every game. But look at how they're doing this. They're attacking the back line minions first, then they unleash the globe, and then they destroy the rest. That's the way that you want to play this out. Your minion wave attacks the opponent's frontline minions. You start damaging the minions in the back row, and then once that they're low, that's where you get the orb in. Everybody helps you out, you move from lane to lane, and you just try to do that as much as you can in the earlier stages to stack your level 1 or your baseline as best as you can. A little bit of help from someone like Junkrat, you can use Johanna, anybody with wave clear will do, and then you get very quickly to a spot where you have proper stacks, where the damage increases, where you can by yourself take minions down. But it's very crucial to, at least in the early game, do that with at least one ally, ideally with more, and that's what they're doing here. So really good effort. As you can already tell... Oh, Cure, careful. Oh, that's a kill! Illidan is down. The Illidonga is eliminated. But as I was about to say, as you can already tell, the blue team is trying to interrupt this. So the blue team has very quickly realized that they're going for a proper stacking process at the start of the game and wanted to interrupt it as much as they could. In the good old days, we had, by the way, the combo established between Johanna and Azmodan, because the two of them can make that play by themselves very easily and just do it from one lane to another. But look how quickly this is now adding up to Azmodan looking at 74 stacks on his baseline and his level 1, and how much easier it is for him already to chip in AoE damage on every single minion wave to make the stacking process much better. If you're looking at a team that doesn't really know what they're doing with Azmodan, you will see them at the 10-minute mark with the same amount of stacks, and Azmodan essentially becomes useless throughout the game. So this is really important. It doesn't guarantee them the win or anything, but it at least sets them up for success with Azmodan and allows him to have an impact in the game itself. Good counter kill after Illidan was initially the one to fall, so they are able to take Muradin down. The camp also gets stolen away, so the Krankle crew again shows their prowess here as they're making the move. Top side, the first shrine gets now announced here on Infernal. 92 stacks for Azmodan. Our boy is doing well. I am curious what the plan is regarding the level 10 talent. Are they just trying to go for some solo lane pushing and attempt to just rat Dota this a bit? Or is he really participating in every single team fight, trying to get the Dark Pool out there and then work the minion waves as the game continues and try and apply some global pressure through that as a tool? Another Storm Bolt! This time it was Hanzo that became the target. But good moves from Rhaegar here and the rest of the team, keeping Hanzo safe and ensuring that he would not fall in that situation. But then again, we now have 104 stacks for Azmodan, so we're going to keep an eye on him. Diablo is also stacking as best as he can on his souls to ensure that he's going to be a bit of a tough cookie as the fights continue. Level 7 kicks in for both teams. This is exactly what they're working on here. As the game started up. And that gives us, for now, also Bombardment. Alright, so Bombardment is in. Illidan has also made his choice. Friend or foe on level 7 for him now. And Azmodan is already doing work at the bottom of the map as the rest of the team is focusing Illidan down, and that's a kill. Junkrat Blaze tag teaming him in the mid lane, and that's the second time that Q has now fallen, as Azmodan is destroying the bottom wall completely and easily moving out of harm's way before Leori comes even close. So nothing that Jordan can do in this situation to punish him for it. They gave up the Punisher at the top lane, of course, but the whole idea being we give up the Punisher, but we do damage on structures, and then we're trying to trade as best as we can. And it's not really an even trade for them. There's a bit more damage that has been done by the Punisher to the fort, but if you look down at the bot lane, it's still fairly okay. I mean, they didn't suffer too much here. And of course, they have a team that also scales quite nicely into the late game. There's not a lot of scaling talents here for the blue team, but at least Illidan is a hero that does much, much better in the later stages of the game, specifically when the distance to safety gets increased, as we oftentimes talk about. So once the forts are gone, you have more wiggle room with the hero that you can exploit. But the attack here is continuing, so they're starting to make the next play, trying to steal the camp, which they did, but they lose Junkrat in the process. So, Junkrat is gone. Play against Gavlo down at the bottom. Could that be another kill? And hell, yeah, it is. So, Illidan is able to take down Muradin. A bit of payback time here for Cure. Level 10 is about to kick in. Azmodan is now at 172 stacks. Not bad. I mean, again, the man's doing work here. Getting some really high numbers up. And now, on top of that, here's the Dark Pool. So, yep, we get some pool plays for them. Looking solid on this. And, yeah, with Illidan in the middle. I mean, Azmodan is really starting to hurt a bit. It's not really too bad yet, but when he gets a hit against multiple targets like this one, then you still got to be careful. So, as I was about to say, Illidan with a hunt. They're trying for the bounty, so each team now with a bounty attempt. One bounty is going to be completed here one way or another. 225 stacks now for Ultralisk with Azmodan. The fort has not been destroyed, so they were able to save it. No problem on that. Yeah, Curiously gets attacked here. Just to be a bit cautious, alright. And now the rotation towards the camp as the next objective is also soon going to be announced, with this time fighting over a shrine in the middle of the map. Damage output, just to give you a bit of an idea, Azmodan is already at 20,000. He's currently top damage in the game. He has pretty decent siege damage as well, and that trend might continue. If he gets attacked, if Illidan, for example, is on him, his chances of escape are fairly slim because his hit point model is still pretty big, and he has a tough time getting out there. So, yeah. We now have Azmodan just loving to take those minion waves out. 261 stacks for him now. The camp gets stolen away again, so they still give up some control over the middle of the map as all of this proceeds. But with the next shrine, we could have an interesting fight on our hands. We actually should. So now the next hit is coming. Porky is already starting to push on to the point. Yeah. Hunt bounty against Azmodan bounty is what we're seeing here. Ultralisk, still okay. Level 13 will be ready a bit sooner for the blue team, as it seems. They're already on the shrine. Azmodan is going to get a quick hit out here. He's trying to. The laser show is ready. They go for Diablo. Dibbles has to be a bit careful here. Porky, alright. Falls just as he was bounced out of the Orb of Annihilation, but he only loses his stacks. Illidan is just staying at the bottom of the map. That's the problem when you're going up against Illidan. You can never let that bastard alone on lane, or he is going to wreck your structures. So he's able to move out. This is, by the way, the beauty of having Azmodan. Just look at him, how happy he is. Whee! On his little cloud here, arms spread to the side. Whee! But yeah, Azmodan can just take a minion wave out by himself right now. That's amazing when you're trying to deep push quickly. That AoE comes in very handy. They're hoping to get the objective now. Ancestral on Leoki. Porky in trouble, and he's dead. That ragdoll gets absolutely kicked around, and they're going for control of the shrine. Blue team is already falling back here. They know that without their tank it's going to be tough for them, especially since the red team has full control, and they're going to get the Punisher for sure. So, that's a nice one. 4 kills, 2 for the dudes with Azmodan and an objective. By the way, Muradin not with Avatar, but going straight into Playmaker again. So they're making their Playmaker plays, and they're hoping to be able to pull off some serious isolation plays with that as a tool. Now if they can do that or not, very different question. Always a bit risky when you're not going for Avatar in those big fights, but time will tell. Illidan's jumping in. There's the Gavlo focus. They're going for Muradin again, and he goes down. I am shocked, I'm telling you. I am shocked. Playmaker Muradin dies all the time? No! But the fort fell anyways. They got the fort. That's what they wanted. Azmodan is back down at the bottom of the map. He's closing in to complete his quest. So he's nearly done with the baseline. Just on the damage numbers, Muradin has fallen 4 times now. And, oh, they still want to fight for this, but Junkrat had that ready. Illidan is coming in. Riptire, and they claim it. Nice. Cure was trying, but he couldn't do enough here. At least he dodges the Orb of Annihilation. They had 4 heroes at the bottom of the map towards the end, but the camp still goes to the dudes. The blue team trying to reclaim position in the game. It's a bit of a weird thing to say, honestly, because when I'm honest about it, they're heading kills, they are even experienced, so it's a bit silly to say trying to reclaim position, but it feels like the last few fights have been starting to lean more and more towards the red team, so I would still argue that momentum is kind of shifting in their favor a bit, with Azmodan in particular starting to have a real impact here. And with another hit, he is going to get his quest completed, which is of course going to make all of this even harsher. That extra damage is going to be huge. So quest completed, 11 minutes in, and they have their level 16 talent. Both of the teams grab that at exactly the same time as the fight down here continues. So they are pushing for it. Azmodan has gone into Trample. It's going to be pretty interesting against Illidan too, so maybe a tool that he can use whenever he gets focused there. But also nice for the team fight as a potential follow-up to what we can expect from the rest of the team. Muradin at the front. Still a bit of a laser show party here. And Illidan is already topside, so Junkrat is now the one that has to defend against them. But Krew is clearly not only interested. This is just the beauty of Azmodan. One hit and the entire wave is gone exactly the way that they wanted. So nicely done. But yes, Krew is not only interested in going for hero kills or anything, he's really working the map too, trying to get onto lanes where he can take a structure down. And then with moves like this, he's able to help Hanzo get a kill. Jump in with the hunt. Ana is down. Now they're trying for a follow-up, but the blue team is a bit caught off guard. The arrow, nice. Ancestral, good, but Leo still falls. Rhaegar is at least able to try himself, I think. Unless we're going to get another big hit coming out. And, well, they get Diablo, so they get Porky. Both of the frontliners have been taken apart. What looked initially great after they dropped Ana is now starting to be a bit more tricky since they lost 2. Leo is back fast. Diablo has respawned because he had his soul stacked, so at least they're not down several players on the map. But it's still 6 kills to 6 now, and a bit of a momentum switch. Cure low, gets slowed. Azmodan mistiming this a little bit, but it doesn't change the fact that Illidan still dies. So another death for Cure, and the timing is not ideal. Oh, they nearly got another kill there. Azmodan has a bit of trouble connecting those orbs properly. Ana with good heals on Swamp Grotto, that could have been the end of plays and force the 4v4 situation. But since they still have the numbers advantage, this next objective is looking pretty good for the red team. Now Illidan has Hunt, he has a pseudo-global, which means that he can join the fight very quickly after he respawns. So that's the saving grace for them right now. And the one reason why the blue team is still willing to fight this and move in. Arrow already out, nice. Jet propulsion misses as Junkrat bounces Leoric back. But they're forcing them back. Illidan, 2 more seconds until he respawns. Ultralis has to also be a bit careful with his mana and manage that properly. This could become problematic for them. Yeah, they got 22 stacks. Illidan could hunt onto, let's say, Junkrat here. More hits, 31, 32. They're getting close. Junkrat slowly moving out. Nice trap against Krew, by the way. Allows him to drop him pretty heavily. But here comes the ult. And Krew survives, barely. Bloodcool, though, gets healed by Ana and gets a kill. Like, what the hell? Illidan is down, Junkrat dies, but he gets a counter kill, and they got the Frozen Punisher at the bottom of the map too, and follow all of this up with additional kills, or at least they're attempting to. Damn, that's some sexy plays here. Diablo is dead, they're going for Leoric, they're dropping him as well. The combo with Bloodcool on Junkrat and then Ana was quite something here. I mean, look at this. Ana with heal after heal, 3 of them are trying to go for the target. Bloodcool drops Illidan, and now they are off to the races at the bottom of the map. The dudes are making the big plays in an attempt to get the keep here. The Frozen Punisher helping them with it. But damn, I'm impressed. Some of those fights I really didn't think they would be able to win. 59,000 damage now from Junkrat throughout the game. Asmodan on 58,000. Still a few hits in the middle. He's starting to take the towers down there, as they are more or less guaranteed to get the bottom keep. But not 100% yet. They still need a little bit of hero support. And they're getting it. So there's the final blow. Level 20 is now also available to them. 10 kills to 7 as they slowly retreat here. But, oof. Pretty impressive game. Now again, each team has a bounty attempt. One will be completed. This could be the first time that we see the Asmodan bounty completed in the Murky Cup. Now, needs some mana, so he's already back to business. Asmodan has now gone into Pride as his level 20 talent. Doesn't really come as a shocker here either. We have now 7 kills to 20. Nearly Storm talents on the blue team side too. So they just need another second and they will lock that in as well. But until then, they would probably love to avoid some real fights. Trying to take Leoric down at the bottom of the map. Thankfully for them, that did not work. He paid attention. Now we have nowhere to hide from Illidan. Big ult upgrade also for Leorki, of course. So with that, we now have Buried Alive. That's a huge one, actually. If they get a proper connect here, Buried Alive is gonna make all the difference in these team fights. And Rhaegar has, of course, gone straight into the Farseer's Blessing on level 20. Bloodcool is such a prime target now for Illidan too, whenever there's a chance, and you can already see that they're moving up there. He's just trying to use this to determine where exactly the opponent positions themselves right now, just with one after another. They force him back from the camp. It was a bit of a bait as well, but yeah, everybody's still okay here. Illidan is down at the bottom of the map. He's fully capable of joining the top lane fight whenever he wants now with his heroic ability. But then on top of that, we also have Asmodan sitting a bit farther back. If he gets hit by an Entomb, he's essentially a goner, and he knows it too. So Ultralisk has to be very, very careful how he positions himself, but up to now he has done a great job in this game. Porky with Hellgate jumping out rather low here. Bloodcool already trying to follow. Stormbolt, good connect from Asmodan at least. Stormbolt was cleansed out by Rhaegar, so they were able to get away. But you could tell that it was once again pretty dicey for the blue team. So the Krankle crew, they haven't really found their path into these fights yet. If they can get a quick kill against one of the squishies, that would be the dream right now. There's one fort standing at the top that is now also starting to slowly take damage, but look how quickly the hit points of Hanzo, for example, drop as he's being hit by Asmodan. And there's not a single fort that has been destroyed on the red team side. Illidan has initially done a lot of damage at the top fort and then also at the bottom fort of the red team, but they were never able to take one of them out. Another Stormbolt connects, nice. Crest at least completed, Hunt into the back line, they're trying to go for Ana, but the arrow is dodged and Junkrat paid attention, helped the team out. There's the Entomb from Leoric, but what a hit again from Ultralisk and Asmodan. Leoric is gone. Rhaegar with the double self-ancestral here as they're trying to keep the rest of the team alive. Leo will be back soon, TM, but the damage that we're getting in these situations from Ultralisk is pretty big. He's getting multiple hits in time and time again in these situations, which now results in him running 75,000 damage here. 11 kills to 7. Junkrat has already taken control of the top side shrine. So they are looking great. Illidan down at the bottom of the map, dealing with the waves, the catapults that they're trying to keep away from the core now at the 18-minute mark. And all the way up at the top, another desperate fight from the Krankle crew in an attempt to get a Punisher here. Ult is out, they want Muradin. Ana attacked, and Muradin low, has to rewind, and double jumps out. Hop, little dwarf, hop, hop, hop. He gets away, and Leorki falls once again. Leorki is gone, Cure is in trouble. They get another Stormbolt connected, the Jet Propulsion follow-up is there. Rega gets wrecked, and that might be the end in this fight for the Krankle crew. Another big hit, and goodbye, Illidan. Illidan is gone, it's a triple, baby! They take 3 heroes out, and now the world's their oyster. The fort is gone, the objective is wide open. I, for a moment, thought they would just try to go down to the bot lane and go for a game. I thought they might move down to the bottom of the map and try and take the core out. Instead, we now have them moving into the middle, prepping for the Punisher. They want to play the safer option here, get the Punisher, push while the opponent has ideally not even a keep standing on that lane anymore. And with only 3 defenders, that is a possibility here. So they're moving in. Porky gets trapped by the Entomb, basically, and falls. Used it as a stunning wall, but then finds himself trapped and gets killed. He still had the stacks. He's back to business, but they are getting absolutely murdered here. Hanzo just disappears within a second. Not a chance. No chance whatsoever. Now the keep is about to fall. Gavlo is being kept alive. He dove in deep. Has to use the bunker. Ana gets hunted by Cure, but with the Leorki falling, there's just no denying this anymore. This is going to be the lead. Oh my god, Rega, Illidan, Leoric, they all die. 19 kills to 7. And this is definitely game. What a performance again from the dudes, as they, with 102,000 damage on Azmodan, not only get themselves another bounty, but are also able to win game number 1 of the best of 3 series with a 5-man team wipe at the end of the game. GG.
Before we head into game number 2, make sure that you subscribe to the channel if you haven't done it yet, so you don't miss out on any future content here on Khaldor TV.
Battlefield of Eternity, map number 2. The bounty that we just saw from the dudes was actually their second bounty. Now, there might be some mistakes here, I'm trying to remember, but we had the Krankle crew has 2 bounties if I'm not mistaken so far. The dudes have 2 bounties. We have 2 bounties from Team Ash, I want to say. And then 6 bounties from the Exodia stack right now. So that's actually a fair amount. Much more than we saw in the Banshee Cup, at least in the first one. We changed things up a little bit at what point we would allow bounties in order to make them a bit more interesting for players. And I think now a lot of them also adopted to the system much better than before. Now, since we're heading into map number 2, I want to remind everybody again that you cannot draft a hero more than once within the series. And that goes for both teams. So, kind of important to note here that the heroes that you've seen on the last map cannot be played again. So, that gives us a little bit more hero diversity, obviously, with all of that. And yeah, we'll see what the teams are now going to do. With Cho'Gall being banned out, I think the Krankle crew does not get a chance today to go and get a Cho'Gall bounty. But I wouldn't put it past them or the dudes to go for another bounty attempt. The Azmodan bounty completed. That's already pretty sweet. So now we have Lucio banned. We have Urel taken out. With Battlefield being the map, there's obviously a lot of heroes that you would expect here. Vala can still be taken. We can go for a few of the mages like Li Ming or Chromie to get direct damage against the Immortal. Greymane, another hero that would fit that bill perfectly. But there's always that question, are we going to get more bounties? Qualifiers have been very entertaining because the teams were a bit more willing to do that now. Gavlo with a very, very early Vala. I mean, super quickly. Locks Vala in, and now double pick on the blue team side. And after the loss on the last map, I'm eager to see if they're saying, hey, we're willing to play another bounty. We still have a couple that we feel fit very well within our playstyle, and we don't think we have to give up too much in order to attempt it. But considering the fact that you really want to, move on to the grand final and get a few more points, I think it's a bit less likely. We get Garrosh and we get Li Ming. there's a couple of options immediately that you can try and go for. You have, of course, Zarya that you can still play to combo it off with Garrosh in the 4-man. You could even go into 7-sided Strike Karazim, a bit less likely, but still something that we occasionally see when you're trying to go for the isolation moves with Garrosh and then fully capitalize on the ult from Karazim. With Vala, double healer, yes, no. Is that what we're gonna get? Uther as a main tank doubling? Well, we get the double heal. So we get Stukov and we get Morales. Now, I still believe we didn't have a triple heal yet for the dudes. So there is a chance that they're gonna go for a triple heal attempt. They could just play it now to win this game, not even go into any kind of bounty, and then just, you know, move on to the grand final. But given the fact that they're starting very, very quickly with 2 healers, there's a chance that they're going to add a 3rd and then try and make that play. Now, if they do that, that would also make it a little bit awkward for their top lane, because who's going to solo lane them? Is it going to be Stukov? Are they going to just go for a 2-3 lane split? But if your opponent drafts a lot of wave clear, that might also become a problem for you. So they really have to weigh the advantages and disadvantages of this a bit. And that brings us exactly to the idea of the Bounty Cup, right? Sorry, of the bounties in the Murky Cup. You want to have players make that risk-reward calculation to see how they're going to play that. And banning out Sylvanas helps so that you can at least not get power pushed by your opponent. Now, that said, I'm still not sure if I think a triple heal in this context would be great for them. But, well, they got Kayn. Nice follow-up also on Garrosh. And we got the Panda! Okay. It is Panda time! Channel your inner capybara. Unleash the Korean plays. Again, if you haven't seen the Korea Cup, there's a playlist on the YouTube channel that you can have a look at. Korea Cup is right there. Very different meta and a lot of fun. And again, if you're watching this on YouTube right now, also make sure that you give your video a thumbs up. It's kind of important to get the videos, you know, at least a bit of leg up when it comes to the algorithm, if you want to popularize heroes a little bit more and make sure that there's still at least a bit of a competitive community here. But there we have it. We get Sonya, we get Karazim, they go for a triple healer bounty. Suljin on the other side, so no bounty attempt this time by the Krankle crew. They're just trying to win map number 2. The dudes on the other hand, they go Sonya, lots of damage there, and then we get Vala plus 3 healers. Guys, another bounty attempt for the dudes. Battlefield of Eternity, it's match point. We're in the semi-final of Murky Cup qualifier number 3. Which team takes it? Let's find out on Battlefield of Eternity. Game number 2. Krankle crew on the left. Malkarks on Suljin. We got Jordan on Garrosh. Cure on Liming. Porky on the Panda. And Deviant on Deckard Kayn. Over on the right side of the map, it's Blood Cool on Morales. Ultralisk is playing Fetid Touch on level 1 with Stukov. Gavlo, again, we still expect auto attack here. On Vala, we got Ixia on Karazim and Swamgrotta on Sonya. And I gotta throw that out. I know that for a lot of people this is gonna be a duh moment, but we have so many people that watch these games and then they, you know, look at the triple heal combo and they say like, ooh, Karazim can go damage. Guys, level 1 on Karazim is always Iron Fists. If you play in a competitive environment, I dare you to find me a game where in the semis or finals, any Karazim player has taken a different talent than Iron Fist. No matter if it's like a double support, a triple support, or a solo support. It doesn't matter. This is the level 1 talent. It's just what it is. That might not apply to Storm League, but again, this is tournament play. This is very different. So Karazim has one level 1 talent. That's it. And that's what you take. Later on in the build, of course, you can deviate away a little bit from your traditional style if you want to go full damage on all of it in the lineup that they're playing here. But the level 1 choice is essentially set whenever you pick the hero. Right, Garro's coming in. Sonya is all alone up at the top, so that's also one of the reasons why they went for her. She adds extra damage, you can keep her alive with all of your healers, and in addition to that, she finds herself in a pretty nice spot where she can hold the solo lane. So it's actually a really good adjustment that they make with this, and something that should work nicely for them as we speak. Oh, Ixia, my friend. Yeah, he made it. He got out there. Vala is stacking. Not insanely fast or anything, but, well, let's see. So far we haven't seen it here. Now, the red team, of course, they are taking a bit of a risk here, and in this case they're not being rewarded. Or are they? Can they get a counter kill? Nope, they cannot. Vala at least got some stacks, but after they lost Morales, they were hoping to take Suljin down, and they couldn't. So we have two heroes that are now heavily trying to stack for the late game, Suljin and Vala. And Suljin on level 7 will still then have to make a choice whether or not he wants to go into Arcanite Access too. Given the fact that he's already stacking fairly quickly on his baseline, there's a good argument to be made that going Arcanite Access would benefit him. He's probably going to complete his second quest reward very quickly and would then benefit from the double swing. Currently he's already looking towards the range increase. Only 3 more stacks missing, 2 more stacks, and he's going to get the first reward for this. So that shouldn't really be a problem for him. Sonya still sitting all the way topside. And it's a bit of a battle over the bot lane camp too, as both of the teams are starting to eye it. Garrosh is going to make a move here. They're definitely going to go for it. Well, actually, with Li Ming now rotating towards the top lane, they're going to let it slide. They're just trying to trade topside onto the camp, and that's going to be enough for them from the looks of it right now. So, yeah, not more than that. Only 1 kill so far in the game. That's the one that we saw against Morales. But yeah, up at the top, the Panda is now claiming it together with Cure. So it's the 2 North American players that are locking in the top lane, and Svamgrotta had to move away from that. But time for the Immortal to spawn, and right now, I would say, oh, Suljin on 16 stacks, so he has the range increase. But yeah, they're getting a very quick halftime show here. Damn! They were quick on that. Blue team still stopped the bleeding a bit, but halftime show victory for the red team nonetheless. So the dudes doing pretty okay here. Can they get kills though? Because Ixia is the one that is in trouble, and the Panda is following up on the dash out. Ultralis gets hit by Li Ming. Cure, beautiful kill and reset. Sonya was not with them. Death timers are still low, so that's, I guess, the good news. But they are going to lose some ground here. And Suljin has now already moved towards the left side in order to take the Immortal down and attack it very quickly here. Yeah, here gets attacked too. A little bit cautious for now. Can they still get the Immortal? It's going to be a race. Li Ming and Suljin over on the left side. And I guess the blue team wins it. And yep, only by a sliver. But they're losing Deckard Cain. And they might lose the Panda. Porky! He's dead. Yeah. Whoa! Jordan! No, he still died! And Garrosh is also dead because he tried to save him. Oh, that sequence of events did not play out well for the Krankle crew. Not at all. Look at they were so close. Garrosh with the save. He puts himself into trouble. Karazim dashes in for the kill. And then, yeah, Garrosh dies too, which means that the Immortal at the top gets easily taken out. It was kind of cool. Suljin now is also dead. Oh my god, all of a sudden 3 kills. I don't want to say out of nowhere, but just getting hammered. Those 3 kills were big. Yeah, that was nice. That was very well done. So, good job. They are hoping for more. The dudes with Vala attempting to stack her further. They have her currently on 64 stacks on the level 1, so the first quest reward is in. Yeah, Porky is rushing away up at the top. Vala is of course going to become more and more of a problem as this continues. No problem for Ixia to dash out here, even if Garrosh gets a connect, but he is running low on mana, so that's something that he has to take care of. Already about to halve. Yeah, careful. Careful still. I mean, yeah, you have a lot of supports there, but ooh, with those combos from Li Ming, I would be very cautious. If you stand still for a bit too long, Cure is going to thank you and take you down. So, yeah, can't really do that too much. But Gavlo is getting good auto attacks, so he is moving in, getting one auto attack after another. It's still kind of important for him that he's able to work in those stacks. Yeah, Ixia a little bit too deep maybe. Dashes out. Still not out of the woods yet. The Panda going in a bit too deep. Gets the kill against at least Karazim, but that's a double kill. We have not only Chen fall, but also Suljin, so the 2 of them go down. Not a positive trade. And you can see this slowly making a dent in their plans. Because now we have nearly level 10 for the red team. They have heavily pulled ahead in experience. They might have lost few more structures, a few more towers, but this is still a problem because now heroics are kicking in And that's where we're going to get the stim drone, we get 7-sided strike, and at least on the objective, it will lead to a pretty significant advantage for the red team. So, yeah, this is dangerous. Especially if they're overstaying their welcome here, as they're already about to. So, careful, Zul'jin. Dying right now would not be a good look. Halftime show, they're going to win this one. This one is going to be taken. Won't be able to play around that. Nope. This is definitely going to be an immortal for the red team. And they will even push with the level 10 advantage for a bit longer, because the blue team is still attempting to catch up in experience. And I guess they're going to do it for the defense. Yeah, they're going to just be in time. Still kind of unfortunate. That level advantage is something they would have hoped to avoid. Now, level 7 has given us ferocity for Zul'jin, just saying. So he didn't go into the Arcanite access, which would have been pretty nice for him. The stacking on the double swing would have been neat. But he is not even at 30 stacks yet on the baseline. The guy for the Keck plays, as you would have assumed. 7-sided strike is going to dash out. Oh no, he's not going to dash out. Gets actually hit, but they got Kane in his ult. Still able to move away here on the other hand. Vala. There she is. Gets the auto attacks. Not really a lot of connects happening. Doesn't really stack a whole lot with it. So Gavlo, after the stim drone, couldn't do too much with it. Mostly structural damage, more so than anything else. Sits at 100 stacks now, so 2 quest rewards for Vala. That's nice percentage damage that she now has. And hasn't died yet, which is the more important part. But you always gotta calculate for Zul'jin in the late game. But that single target damage, I mean, look at it. Karazim dashing in, Vala with auto attacks. All of that just coming together on the same target. And Garrosh has to immediately retreat. Sonya isn't even here. They don't have a frontliner right now. Sonya is currently sitting tight all the way topside in that 1v1 against Chen, who's now slowly starting to rotate maybe. Karazim gets away again as they're trying for the camp, and they claim it. Stukov is creating some space for them. Vala gets zoned out and eats the combo, at least part of it. But still able to stack, 113 now. And they're totally fine. So, who's going to be the bigger threat as the game continues? Is it going to be Zul'jin or is it going to be Vala? It's the only question here. Zul'jin went Dingo, as you would expect. Damage output for Vala, 26,000. Zul'jin is already at 33. Doesn't change the fact that they're losing ground. Zul'jin might have more damage, but they're also losing ground as all of this continues. A fort is gone. And they're trailing with level 13 talents in another moment. So for the next objective, it will again be a talent advantage on the side of the red team. Yeah, they're gonna get that. That's a spicy game. I mean, Vala is at 116 stacks. She now has Gloom. That's gonna help her specifically against Li Ming. That's the biggest threat for her right now, that she eats damage, let's say, from Zul'jin, and all of a sudden Li Ming capitalizes on it. But how much deeper can they go? Next attack, there's the taunt, there's the heal. Karazim, 7-sided strike again. Can he dash out? Well, not in time. So Karazim is gone. That's one of the healers down. They're only relying on 2 at this point. Vala with a few more attacks here. Gets the stim drone and tries to get a few more auto attacks. Might be able to actually threaten Porky here. But a nice connect again from Garrosh. Oh, Zul'jin turns it on Sonya. Sonya went too deep. Didn't account in that case for the ult. And that's easy stacks for Zul'jin and the kill. That was avoidable. Instead of only losing Karazim and being able to get him back, they now lost a second hero. Yeah, Garrosh is still defending. Already the halftime show about to be claimed. The Krankle crew starting to gain ground. They've been a bit on the back foot for quite some time now, but now they're starting to gain ground here and make things very, very difficult for the red team. Dudes, again in the fight. Ultralisk gets a bit isolated. He has to be very careful. Might actually fall. Tries to create some space for himself. Li Ming falls. She's not the only one. They got Kane dies too. Vala's taking aim and kills 2 of them. Might even be able to go for the triple here as they're following up on Porky. Shen is on the run and gets out, but the Immortal, yeah, the Immortal can't run, at least not now. So the Immortal is getting crushed. They're trying to go for the top and win the Immortal after all, the Krankle crew, but they won't be able to pull that off. So it's another objective for the blue team. This time a little bit more hard fought, but Vala still with 142 stacks, and the more important part, she hasn't died yet. She gets more stacks and she hasn't died yet. Them suffering a couple of losses because Sonya falls, because Karazim falls. It's unfortunate, but it's not really a big deal as long as they can keep Vala alive and as long as she keeps stacking. And she does. She's getting those connects. So they're closing in on the third quest reward for her on the level 1 talent. And she's about to grab it. Jordan is a bit low on Garrosh, so that's a problem. Suljin is also stacking, but look at that single target damage that we're getting here. Vala again, vaulting forward, getting some connects and hits, but not enough yet. With Manticore, that would have most likely been a kill, but she's not quite there yet. Half a level, and she's gonna grab the next talent though. And then Chen and Garrosh are really gonna suffer. Then they're gonna be in pain. Both forts have now been eliminated. The one on the top lane, the one at the bot lane. And a little bit more experience, and they're gonna get there. On level 13, we got 6 cents for Karazim, and now likely is gonna spec into more damage for the team. Vala with Manticore, as expected, and this is where the party really starts for her. Farflight Quiver is gonna make it an even bigger problem, but this is already where it gets tough. Here comes the wave of 100 fists. In addition, we get the extended care. The range increase in the healing beam alone already totally worth it here. Absolutely big for the team right now. Especially when Garrosh is able to get another big throw in. Can always follow up on that. And they're sieging up on them. It's a level advantage where they have that talent lead. So they're sieging up at that bot lane. Trying to ensure that they're maybe even getting a keep out of this. Vala on the other hand. Nice connect. That was amazing. That was exactly what they needed right there. Now the team has to retreat. They lost their damage dealer. Li Ming gets killed by Stukov. Big play by Ultralist. That was an important one. It's a 4 versus 4. And they go for the mine with the big arm. Look at this. Stim Joan on Stukov. Stukov with the big slaps. My man trained his entire life. That's the ult on Suljin activated just barely before he falls, but Sonya is still able to take him down, and Swamp Grotta is a bit on a killing spree. So what started with Vala falling turns into a double kill for them, and they push the opponent back once more. They can't take the keep out, but they get 2 kills, and Suljin is gone for another 20 seconds as Vala reappears on the map. Another big play, and maybe another immortal for the dudes. Vala is already back to business. Losing 5% on the attack speed. Annoying. Not the end of the world for them. So yeah, 11 kills to 6. Zoning them out already. Suljin is now back to business, but the halftime show has been won by the dudes. 43,000 damage for Vala. Suljin is still top damage in the game with the 57k that he brings to the table. But they are trailing in kills. 11 kills to 6. He's having a problem here. Attack after attack is happening as they're trying their best. Immortal is getting attacked. Blue team is defending. Red team is defending. Everybody is trying to play it a little bit safer here. 16 on both sides now. The next attack is coming as they're putting pressure onto Suljin. Deckard Cain, a nuisance of course, with all the zone control that he brings. This is what they are most afraid of here. Made some real nice move early on already. But right now, the Kek is out, and the isolation didn't work. That's a big one. And immediately, Stim Drone. Now they want to fight. Now they want to fight. And look at the auto attacks. Look at the damage against Porky. Good ult from Deckard Cain to stop them in their tracks for a moment, but that's not the end of it. Sonya falls, and she might not be the only one. I think we're going to see Ixta die too. Maybe, maybe not. Vala! She just doesn't have the damage numbers right now. She gets big damage in, but it's not enough to get kills. 178 stacks. She's at 52,000 damage, but Suljin has now moved up to 68k, and they could not get the kill. They did fantastic for such a long time, but then Sonya falls. Now they don't have a frontliner. They are hoping they can kill. Karazim is at the front, gets stopped for a second, will have to dash out. They're targeting Chen, who has his ult back, and Karazim gets crushed. The Immortal won by the Krankle crew. Karazim is gone just as Sonya is about to reappear on the game, and this is turning the tides of the game slowly. Comeback time for the Krankle crew. They're still a level behind. They haven't taken a single fort out yet, but this is going to change now. This is the opportunity for them to gain experience, to close that gap, and to also do some serious structural damage and that's exactly what they're here for. They're making their moves up through the top of the map. The fort has been destroyed, still some shields left on the Immortal as they're slowly going towards the keep. Kerosene back in another 10. Vala can dish out the damage from a distance now, but things got spicy. Now with Chen having Keck again, you gotta be careful. Chen and Kerosene are both a problem for Vala now, even with Kerosene being back, and the keep's gone. The keep is gone. That's what they wanted, and the Immortal is still very strong. Guys, this might be more than just keep. This might be game. Look at this. They're trying to burn it down quickly, and I think the blue team is not willing to risk it. Well, maybe a bit of a chance if you lock a kill in, get an isolation with Chen or Garrosh, but not quite. Talking about Chen, here comes the Keg. Ultralisk is fine. Ixia, 7-sided strike. There's the ult, and Ixia dies again. Even with Manticore, Vala is not able to get the kills in, and now she's gone, and uh-oh. We have a problem. Houston, we got a big one. 10 kills to 11. The Krankle crew, their comeback. They turn the game around. Suljin is on 77 stacks and 82,000 damage now. They go for the core, and this one is sealing the deal of Game 2. Battlefield of Eternity goes to the Krankle crew as they force game number 3 in this semi-final series. GG. We're going to game number 3. The bounty attempt on the second map did not work out for the dudes. They lose with the triple heal, and the Krankle crew wins the game and forces the third map, as both of these are still eager to get to the grand final. Now this tournament also marks the halfway point in the qualifiers. So this is qualifier number 3. We have another 3 afterwards before we're heading into the playoffs. And now we have 20 heroes unavailable for the draft. 20 heroes have been played. 20 heroes therefore can't be played again. And yeah, color me intrigued what we're now getting. It's always kind of funny, by the way, when you have teams. One of the most interesting things to me was when we had both teams, you know, in one of the series go for a triple heal, because it removes a lot of the healers for the subsequent maps that follow afterwards. Now, when that happens in a best of 5, you will eventually run out of healers. So it would be kind of cool if in the playoffs or some of the tournament finals we would see that. Right now we get Abatha banned out. Garden is a pretty big map. And it was actually chosen by the dudes. And if I'm not mistaken, they pretty much insta-locked it. So they decided that they want to have... Well, they decided they want to have map choice, I suppose, since they lost the last map. So yeah. So Garden of Terror, there's a big map. And there's a couple of things that you could do if you wanted to go for bounties, but are they really going to risk it? Because this is what it comes down to, right? You have the final map where you can play things. Cure gets Maiev, so that's great for him. This is a really strong hero for him. And now the question, what's happening over on the red team side? Victory in game number 1. Triple with Asmodan. Then a triple support, a triple healer in game number 2, which didn't work out for them. White Wing and Tracer. Alright, Gavlo on Tracer. That's already going to be cool. Zipping around, trying to dance around Maiev and Cure. What is Porky going to play this time? Yeah, he actually found himself on the side lane in the last game. So he went from Diablo main tank in game number 1 on Infernal Shrines into him playing Chen on Battlefield of Eternity with some pretty good Keck action as well. Ah, this time we're getting Varian and Dehaka. So Taunt into a Tongue and Maiev. That's a lot of CC that they have. If Tracer gets hit by a Varian Taunt, oof, she is going to be in a world of pain. Yeah, that's not going to be easy for her at all. Varian is really nice against Tracer, as long as you have a level 4 cooldown. So, do we get Jaina here? Are they trying to get burst damage? The ban on Malfurion makes sense. Stukov is already out. You can still, of course, play, I don't know, Tyrande, Uther, whatever. It doesn't really matter too much. If you have any kind of support that has an additional slow or stun, that's great. But Malfurion and Stukov are usually the 2 that you get with Varian if you can. but they have so much to see already that even if you go into any kind of other support, it wouldn't really matter all that much. But they still have options. Brightwing is another choice, of course, with a Poly that you can execute. Falstad is another option for them. It's a big map. Ultralisk could play Falstad here as well. And what is Swamgrota gonna play? I think Swamgrota should be subbing in for Teams More because he is our biggest Murky hope. Sylvanas and Arthas. I like it. Arthas was something that we saw in the North American tournament a couple of times that we just had recently. When we had HGC 2024, the Hanzo Genji Cup. That was pretty entertaining. Some of the teams running Arthas was just super cool. Now we have it from Swamgrota. Leaves us with Ultralisk as the final choice. Arthas Imperious, let's go. Oh, Medivh. They could go Medivh. But then they only have one melee. Yeah, probably not. Cassian Anduin. The father-son duo. Together with Cassia. Arthas with Medivh can be a bit of a pain because Medivh eliminates with the portal play some of the weaknesses that Arthas has. Ultralisk is a good Medivh player, but again, they've decided so far to only draft one single. And it's Murky! Yes! Ultralisk is gonna give that one up. Ultralisk is gonna give that up to Swamgrota. It's Murky time. They want the triple bounty. This is worth 3 bounties, everybody. Garden of Terror. We got Murky in the Murky Cup. Let's go. Game number 3. Match point. Malkarks on Cassia. We got Cure for the Krankle crew on my F. Jordan on Varian, Deviant on Anduin, and Porky on Dehaka. And here we have the man himself. We got Swamgrota on Murky.
Hail to the king, baby.
If anybody, it's gonna be him. Gavlon, Tracer, Ultralisk on Arthas. We get Ixia on Brightwing. Swamgrota, as mentioned, is going to be the Murky Master. And Bloodcool on Sylvanas. Alright, let's go. This should be good. Murky goes for the fishy deal on level 1. And as I said before, Swamgrota plays a pretty mean Murky. Always has. The man is fantastic on that. So, yep. Time will tell how much they can do with him on the hero. I mean, honestly, I gotta give it to them. It is a little bit ballsy if you are in game number 3 and you just decide, hey boys, we're still gonna go for a bounty. Now, the Murky bounty is worth 3 tickets, 3 bounty tickets. So it's actually pretty big if you lock that in. If they win here, not only would they go to the grand final of the 3rd qualifier, but they would also get 3 bounty tickets, which is absolutely huge. So if they feel that with Swamgrota subbing in for the team today, they can pull that off, then hey, by all means. So the attacks still coming here, as they're trying to make a couple of plays for that bot lane. Murky, don't worry, he's got a Murky again in just a moment. Maybe struggling a little bit against Dehaka here, but yep, attacks are coming. And it is time to shine. Oh yeah. Topside Murky is already proxying some of the waves. This is one of the neat little things that you can do when you're actually playing Murky. It's honestly very annoying. You just move past the opponent between the keep and the fort and you're trying to take some of the minion waves out. Applies, as you can see here, more and more pressure towards the keep wall of your opponent. And it's insanely annoying if you're doing it well. Has in the past been done with other heroes too. You can, for example, do it with the Vikings as well. But Murky is always a little bit of a favorite for that kind of play. Now, he's got to be annoying as much as he can. At the end of the day, it's his job description, of course. And yeah, we're going to keep our eye on him. Currently at the bottom of the map, a couple of the mercenary camps are colliding. And with level 4 now available, that means that we're also getting Taunt for Varian. And it's immediately being used to try and get a kill against Ultralisk, who gets murdered by Maiev just as he thought himself safe moving past the gate. So Arthas is down, he's gone, bad news for the team. And we get Murky with a slime time up at the top, still doing his thing. Even Tracer had to move towards the middle to help out a bit. So the push at the bottom of the map is absolutely ruthless. Good tether onto Ixia, Brightwing trying to get out. able to escape. I'm not so sure honestly anymore. And Brightwing gets away. Okay, we're good. Brightwing gets out, is able to escape. But was a little bit of a close call, to be honest with you. And, well, there comes the double kill. Anduin and Cassia are all of a sudden both destroyed. That's an easy double kill for Sylvana, so good on her. Murky still proxying as much as possible. And still doing a great job on that. So, not bad. The break through the wall. This is the beauty of you running something like, like Sylvanas in the mix. You have Murky and you got Sylvanas on top of that. I mean, talk about a nice combo. One hero is annoying everybody up at the top lane, the other is part of your 4-man. And when you ever get a kill, you can immediately start to make a play and try and take some structures out. So, yeah, definitely doing tons of work here as we speak. Ultralisk is slowing them down now as they're trying to escape. That gives plenty of opportunities for Tracer and Sylvanas to get the damage through. It leads to Varian getting destroyed. Anduin is super sad because his dad just died. No! Then he remembered that he doesn't care. Cure jumping out. And, well, that game flipped. After Arthas died and they broke through the bot lane and nearly took the fort out, I was like, okay, this could be a quick one. And then, you know, the next thing that happens is just easy kills for the red team. On top of that, they are having with Murky a nice EXP machine at the top. They get the seed and they find themselves half a level in the lead now. So, yep, this worked well for them. It was looking real nice. But again, we're still in the early game, so this is game 3. There's a lot on the line here, specifically, of course, for the red team, considering what kind of bounty they are trying to claim. But there is still a lot that will change the dynamic. Not even speaking of heroic abilities right now, but yeah. Camps, of course, on the map, always important. This is a big one. I mean, at this point, we're having top side still, Porky doing his best against Grota. A couple of stacks are coming slowly together for the slime time, but not really too much. Porky's playing well around it. We got the Black Lagoon right now. And Tracer is still zipping between the lanes, trying to be the Nexus Mosquito that she knows she can be. Bzz, bzz. But gets taunted. Is still able to get away. Gavlo's on the run. I'm not quite sure how much time they want to really spend on chasing Tracer. That is a bit of a risk when you have to overchase. So yeah, Gavlo is still alive. Cure might get the kill, but Brightwing is actually helping out now too, and all of a sudden it's Cure who's in trouble. So yeah, Cure has to be cautious as well. Porky is moving down to the bottom of the map to deal with Sylvanas, who is absolutely crushing this. They are so annoying right now. I mean, damn, look at the dudes. These guys are a major pain in the butt. They're on every single lane annoying the opponent. Granted, they had the advantage of running heroic abilities already. And now that the Krankle crew has their own level 10s, this might change the dynamic again. But still, they are making them work for every single kill and for every single bit of lane control that they're getting. So, not bad. Octograb, by the way. Octograb and Syndragosa. Yeah, Tracer gets taunted again, but still alive. Octograb, Syndragosa for them. Murky is getting attacked at the top, and Grota, he just doesn't care. Down at the bottom, Bloodcool also making his moves. I mean, this is getting real funny. Finally, it is the Haka that dies. They go for Murky. I'm not quite sure. Oh, but they destroyed the egg. Alright, that's an actual Murky kill. They destroyed the egg. The egg is gone. But Sylvanas is busy at the bottom of the map and is able to take the fort out. So even when they win, they lose. The Krankle crew, they get a kill against Murky. So that must have been pretty satisfying. But they lose a fort at the bottom of the map and bit of a setback. Now, Brightwing. Brightwing is essentially Murky with wings. That's what that is. A frog with wings. That's what Murky is. And Ultralisk is also gone, so the Krankle crew starting to get a little bit annoyed here. Krankle crew is slightly annoyed and saying, you know what, boys? Yeah, we can still fight back as well. We're not really happy with how this went so far. So you guys are going to go down now. So the attacks are coming. And off we go. Now, How much more? What's the next little play from specifically the blue team? Because they're still the ones that have to cover all their bases here. And it is, I mean, massively annoying. Okay, Murky is gone. So they're trying to shut him down again as quickly as they can. Now the next little attack happening towards Jordan as he's getting sucked out of this. So he's still fine. But the seed goes over to the red team, and that's the second one. So they got 2 seeds now. Very annoying for them. 2 seeds for the team. And the chance to get Garden Terror soon. And they want to get a little bit more. They want to get a fort at the top lane. And you guessed it already. They're going to be able to pull that off. So here comes the attack. And they're going to claim this one for sure. So, easy hits right there. Able to lock the fort in. Maybe get a kill. Try to get it. Brightwing is the first one to fall. But I think that Varian is still a bit low. And falls. Alright, so he gets walked down by Arthurs. But Arthurs also went a bit too deep and dies for his sins here. It's actually more of an even game than I expected it after how the early game went. But yep, as it stands right now, we're having Porky getting targeted again. So everybody is still trying to see if they can get follow-up kills. And Tracer in particular is doing a great job on that. On level 13, we got the fish tank. We have Swamgrota now starting to make his play. And moving Siege Giants onto the bottom wall. And actually doing a lot of damage there too. Still annoying them as best as he can, but look at how quickly those towers fall. So it's catapults and siege giants, some easy free damage that they're able to get just by that little move. So yeah, very nice for them. Murky, yeah, careful. Be careful on that too. And yeah, in the meantime, with Murky now obviously gonna try to Murk again. We have the next attack happening here, as we have Porky getting pushed back. So he's the next one. And of course, on top of that now, we're looking at Swamgrota still being busy in the middle. What about Swamgrota? He is at 92,000 siege damage right now. So you can already see a pretty clear advantage and lead that he has through that alone. So not bad. But yeah, 5 kills, 2-6. Still trying to get a bit of a hit in here in the middle of those siege giants. If they can escort them and guard them a bit longer, they might have a chance to make a longer play. But no.
Yeah, for the blue team, honestly, I'm a little bit worried because Murky is starting to become really annoying. We have 2 forts that are now destroyed. They countered with 1 at the bottom of the map, but they have to do something. And now we have, for example, the old use on Murky, and he just doesn't care. I mean, yes, the egg is a little bit far back, but it's still right in the middle at the fort. So they are using big cooldowns in order to take this down. It's not like a minute cooldown or anything, but this is going to be back in time. But it tells you how annoyed they are by this. And while the blue team has been able to take a single seed a bit earlier, they're still trailing. And if the red team locks now this one in on their own side of the map, then this will again result in a set of Garden Terrors. And Murky, with a fishy deal, takes another set of siege giants. That helps with more pressure. Syndragosa is out. It's a problem for Varian. Son-father duo active for a moment. The light bomb stun didn't do enough though. And here comes again Ultralis trying to slow them down, stun them out here. And they're eating tons of damage. I mean, the entire blue team is now forced back to pop the fountain because they were in trouble here. Siege Giants are slowing the next minion wave down, as you can already see. Murky wants the channel. Jordan comes in with another engage. Taunt is ready, but it's Sylvanas that forces them back in these choke points time and time again. And now we have Garden Terrors. Now the Garden Terrors are in the house. So this is rough. Look at the damage output on Sylvanas. 43,000, the same as Tracer. The two of them running the show. Cassia has also a decent number, but now the pressure is on everywhere. Mid lane fort is likely going to fall. At the top, Murky is softening up the keep wall, trying to escort the Garden Terror in even further. And the one at the bottom of the map isn't even being dealt with whatsoever at this point. I mean, they have nothing there. It's going to take a while for it to reach the keep, but it doesn't change the fact that there's immense pressure against the Krankle crew now in game number 3 of the series. Top side, Murky is doing work, gets finally killed by Porky, but the keep is very low, and that Garden Terror is...
or was a second ago, nearly at 100% HP. Catapult is about to be taken out, but there's huge opportunities here. The fort is gone at the bottom of the map. The wall gets opened up as well. And things are tricky. I mean, real tricky. They save the top side key by a sliver. But eventually, we're gonna have Murky move in and drop it. Murky's gonna take that out eventually. There's just no way this is not gonna happen. So yeah, they come down here. Again with another light bomb. But Arthur's with the Howling Blast shuts that down quickly. The Merklord! Oh yeah! Ahead by more than half a level. Topside keep gets now destroyed. Murky makes it possible. They lost all their forts. And the dudes are on their way to potentially lock this one in. This win, the semifinal, and the Murky bounty, which gives them 3 tickets for the bounty pool. We're not there yet, but we're getting closer. We're definitely getting closer. I mean, at that point, we have up at the top a big invade from the blue. They're trying to be more aggressive now. This is what they're currently trying to do. They try to move in, be a bit more aggressive on this, try and force a fight. They kind of have to. But as soon as they're moving with 5 on the map, they also have to abandon a lane, and that is where Murky strikes again. Now, Dehaka is, of course, in the game. He's the global, so they have a chance there. But look at how aggressively they're now trying to take some of the structures out, even diving past the wall onto the fort itself. Next seed is spawning. Catapults are starting to become a bit of a problem here at the 14-minute mark, slowly as well. There's 2 marching through the top lane currently. And down at the bottom of the map, Porky with a drag. But Murky is also getting more and more hits together for his level 4, so he's increasing the damage as we speak and becoming therefore more of a problem. They can move in and try and take him out as much as they want. But with forts still in the game, there's some very, very safe egg positions for Swamgrotta. And here comes level 20. With that, we get absolute 0 for Arthur's. That's going to be a bit wild in the next few fights. Topside siege giants now as well, so as long as they're controlling more and more of these mercenary camps, this is going to help a lot. And Murky hasn't made a choice yet, but is dealing with the next seed, so they're grabbing another one. Blue team lets this one go because they don't want to fight against the level 20 opponent. I definitely don't blame them for that. But now at the top, they gotta defend again. They're always forced in a position where they have to defend this lane, that lane, rotate back to face off against Murky, deal with a couple of siege giants that are being locked in. The big Tuna Kahuna is now ready for Swamgrotta. And I'm curious how are these fights now gonna look for them. Another taunt, and Murky gets killed again. 6 kills to 6. Very different situation and structures on the map. I mean, very, very different. So, that's the big problem. Here comes the jump. Oh, Wailing Arrow. And they get the kill on Dehaka. Really nice executed kill against the side laner. Wailing Arrow, Howling Blast, locking all of that in with perfect timing to drop Dehaka and apply pressure at the bottom of the map again. Here comes Varian. Gets slowly walked down by Ultralis. Yeah, Ultralis going into the Remorseless Wind. That was, of course, also big against all of the melees. And there's the ult. Absolute 0. Trying to lock him down, forcing Anduin to use the cooldown of his level 16 multiple times already. The attack still going strong here. But Murky not with the team, instead focusing on a couple more camps. As they're slowly retreating again. I mean, big work done by them here. Now, in the middle, Siege Giants are pushing through. Murky with 153,000 siege damage. Not really insane when it comes to hero damage, obviously, but when it comes to siege damage, he is 153k. When it comes to being annoying, he's over 9,000. It's crazy, I know. They go for the next camp. 59,000 hero damage for Sylvanas. We got 56,000 for Cassia. But, well, outside of Cassia, I guess they got Maiev with the 32,000 that she brings. Not crazy. Not bad either. Murky, Octograb.
Octograb and Disc in this scenario didn't really do a whole lot for them. But Khaldor is a bit in trouble. Still able to retreat. They took the camp too, so now they have in addition to that also the aura. A spell aura here from the camp, or they had at least. And still the same problem. They're pinned down in their base. Time continues. Catapults become stronger. More of an issue. And the blue team is still pretty far away from getting another or the first objective. Yeah, the seed spawns very nicely for the red team. If they just retreat a little bit and lock that in, they have 2 seeds, and then the next seed spawn is going to determine another set of web weavers, of which team is going to get it. So they're moving back here, trying to wait for the spawn. Blue team is slowly getting into position though, at least with Varian. But Murky is at the top and pressuring them there, so I don't think they can really contest this. So it's getting channeled very quickly. Khaldor is going to lock it in for the team, and that means 2 seeds on each side. And Murky again, Swamgrota, he's still sitting tight there. He can get them another camp maybe, and they're going for the top where the blue team is trying to steal one away too. But there's now catapults moving onto the core, and we're now 19 minutes in. So there's only 1 catapult. It's not a whole lot. It will be easily defended, I suppose, by the core and the minion wave that just spawned. But it is starting to become a problem. Yeah? Shield is getting attacked. Not a big deal yet. But this adds up. And it gets worse as time continues. Blue team needs a win. They need a W. They need something. They disc Murky again, trying to prevent him from doing damage before he dies. Gets a taunt. And he's still trying to get out here. So they're throwing everything against him. This is time lost. This is every time that they need to do this. Time lost that the rest of the red team can use to defend against another mercenary camp. Make another play. And yeah, it's just not fun for them. Now this is the seed that matters. This is the big seed. One team is gonna get Garden Terrors now. Question is who? Absolute Zero is being used, and they go for the kill. They get Anduin. He's a bit too far forward. Arthas takes advantage of it. There's the double. It's a triple, baby. 3 kills, and they're gonna get more. It's a 5-man team wipe. Everybody is destroyed. Everybody gets killed, starting with Anduin. That's game. The first team to complete the triple Murky combo. The bounty is the dudes, They are taking the victory in the game as well. Nicely done. They move on to the grand final, and a big bounty completed by them. What a final map in this series. GG and well played. Awesome, awesome match on Garden of Terror. Nicely done.